Yan. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. And this is your Sir Dan. Yan. So, ang ating pag-aaralan ngayong umaga or ngayong ay ang sum and product of the roots. So, paano ba natin makukuha yung sum and product ng ating roots ng ating quadratic equation? Or kailangan ba i-solve natin yung roots para makuha natin yung sum and i-add natin? Kailangan pa ba natin i-solve? So, in this lesson, no, without solving, yun yung pinaka matututunan natin. Without solving, no, without using the previous lesson that we have the extracting square root, quadratic formula, factoring, or completing the square, pwede na nating malaman kung ano yung sum and product of the roots by just looking on its numerical coefficient. Yan. So, yun ang ating matututunan. This is very easy. Madaling-madali lang ito. Alam ko na kayang-kaya nyo to. So, ito ang ating dapat matutunan. I-describe natin yung relationship between the coefficient and the roots of a quadratic equation. So, kailangan alam natin yung ano yung mga coefficient, yung A, B, and C ng ating quadratic equation. Which is napag-aralan naman na natin. Okay? So, let's continue. So, sum, which means i-add natin yung ating mga roots, and product, which means i-multiply natin. Pero, without solving it, no, without solving the root of a given quadratic equation, pwede na nating ma-identify yung ating sum and product of the roots. Okay? So, let's have an example. So, aalamin natin yung mga coefficient. Yan yung pinakamahalaga sa sum and product of the root. The coefficient of the given quadratic equation. Remember the standard form of the quadratic equation, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So, dapat alam natin na identify yung ating value ng ating a, b, and c. So, let's have the given quadratic equation, 6x squared minus 5x plus 1 equal to 0. Then the second is 12x squared minus 5x minus 2 equal to 0. And then x squared minus 9 equal to 0. And the last one is 5x minus 6 times 4x plus 7 equal to 0. Okay. So first, we're going to identify the value of a, b, and c. On the given, the number one equation, a is equal to 6. Okay. B is equal to negative 5. And C is equal to 1. On the second equation, 12. A is equal to 12. B is equal to negative 5. And C is equal to negative 2. Okay? If you're wondering, paano natin nakukuha yan? Remember, we have ax squared, meaning to say, no, ax squared, ito yung a natin, x squared, b, diba? Ito yung ating b, ito yung ating c. So, ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So, this numerical coefficient, that is your a, b, and c. Okay? So, let's continue. So, dito naman, a is 1 and b, I guess you can guess it, that we don't have b, so we don't have bx. So, b is equal to 0. Then c is equal to negative 9. Okay? In this equation, no, we will apply yung ating FOIL method. So, we're going to multiply this one. So, 5x, that's 20x squared. Okay? Then this one, first, the outside, okay? Then the inside, then the last term. So, if you multiply this one is equal to 4. 25x times 4x, that's 20. Ulit natin. So that's 20x squared. Okay? And if you multiply this one, 5x times 7, huh? That's 35. This one is negative 24. So 35 minus 24, I think that's 11. Huh? Then multiply natin to, that's negative 42. So value of your A will be 20, B is 11, then C is negative 42. Okay, so what's the connection of this a numerical coefficient to the sum and product of the roots of a given quadratic equation? Okay, yeah. The sum of the roots of a given quadratic equation is given by negative b over a. Okay, so then the product of the roots is equal to c over a. Again, sum of the root is negative b over a. Ang ating product of the roots naman is c over a. So, ito yung ating mga a, b, and c, no? So, don't forget, no, kailangan natin ito. Formula, remember that, huwag natin kakalimutan. So, without solving, by just looking at the numerical coefficient of your quadratic equation, ma-identify na natin kung ano yung magiging value or kung ano yung magiging sum of the roots mo at saka product of the roots mo. Okay? So, let's answer this one. So, nakuha na natin kanina yung ating value ng mga ABC. So, that's your sum and product of the roots. The sum is negative b over a. And then the sum is negative b over a and the product is c over a. So, let's identify the sum of the roots. The sum of the roots is negative b over a. So, that will be equal to, so number 1, 5. Diba? Ito ay negative 5. So, papalitan lang natin ang sign doon, negative b. That means negative times negative, positive, positive 5. And that over a is 6. That's 5 over 6. How about the product of the roots? Product of the roots is 1 over 6. Okay? Let's continue on number 2. So, ito rin, negative 5 din. Just change the sign of this one. Let's make this a positive number. So, negative b, that means negative times the negative 5 is positive. So, sum of the roots is 5 over 12. Okay? Then, the product of the roots, c over a. So, if that's negative, you don't have to change the sign because that's c. So, negative 12 over 5, you may lowest term it, ang lowest term niyan. Okay, we may reduce it to lowest term, negative 1 over 6, because the greatest common factor of 2, negative 2 and 12 is 2. Okay, next. On this one, so 0, any number that has 0 on the numerator divided by any number is equal to 0. So that's equal to 0. So, product of the roots naman, that's c. So, negative 9 divided by 1, that is equal to negative 9. That is 1. This is 11. So, let's just make it a negative 11 over 20. That's negative 11 over 20. And then this one, negative 42 over 20. That's negative 42 over 20. You may reduce it. Diba? Ang lowest term then will be negative 21 over 10. Negative 21 over 10. Okay. So, meron diyang 10, ano? Hindi lang natin makita because nandyan yung aking video. So, let's continue. Okay? So, practice tayo. So number 1, you have 2x squared minus x plus 6 equal to 0. 24x squared plus x minus 10 equal to 0. Yan. Then x minus 2 squared equals 9. So, I'll give you time. You just post the video. Post nyo muna. Then, answer natin yan. Then, after 2 minutes, siguro, you may continue the video and para malaman natin if you get the correct answer. Okay? 2 or 3 minutes or maximum time will be 5 minutes. Okay? After 5 minutes, let's reveal the answer. The sum of the roots is 1/2. I hope you got it correctly. Product of the roots is 3. 6 divided by 2, that's 3. And yan. Negative 1 over 24. Then negative 5 over 12. Lowest term lang natin yan. Okay? This 1, this 4. Distribute natin yan. Then the last one is negative 5. Okay? That would be all for the seventh product of the roots. Okay, ayan. Let's continue our lesson. Ang ating susunod na lesson naman ay ang solving equation transformable in quadratic equation. Meaning, ito yung mga equation na hindi natin inaakala no, na ito ay pwede natin gamitin yung quadratic equation, yung solving quadratic equation na pinag-aralan natin, which is extracting square root, factoring, completing the square and quadratic formula. So that means, in first sight, o unang tingin natin, hindi natin ito akalaing quadratic equation. Maring unang tingin natin sila ay linear equation. Or maybe impossible for us na malaman na ito ay quadratic equation. For some. Okay? So, let's continue. So, ano nga ba yung solving quadratic? Usually, ang ating binibigay dito ay yung mga quadratic o yung rational fraction, rational equation transformable to a quadratic equation. Okay? Example number 1. So, if you have x times 3 over x equals 19 over 4. So, ito, no, tingin natin dito, hindi siya quadratic equation. Sa unang tingin natin. So, paano ba natin ito isosolve? Or paano natin ito ita-transform into a quadratic equation? First, we have to eliminate yung ating mga denominator. Itong mga denominator natin. So, kailangan natin silang alisin. Paano natin sila alisin? So, kailangan nating alisin yung mga yan, no? Okay? So, alisin natin yan. Paano natin sila aalisin? So, kailangan i-multiply natin yung buong equation doon sa LCD niya. So, ano ba yung LCD niya? Ano bang LCD ng ating equation? Yung nasa denominator, least common denominator. So, ang fraction natin, ang denominator natin dyan ay x tsaka 4. So, pag wala naman silang common, i-multiply, pwede nyo i-multiply siya. So, ang LCD natin will be 4x. So, i-multiply lang natin yung buong equation. Yung left at saka yung right, i-multiply natin yan doon sa 4x. So, let's multiply x plus 3 over x equals 19 over 4 sa LCD niya, which is 4x. Okay? So, paano ba mag-multiply niyan? Isa-isahin natin. So, una i-multiply natin 4x times x. Again, kaya natin siya i-multiply, yan, yung mga numbers dyan o yung mga terms dyan, para mawala yung denominator, para mas madali. Wala nang fraction, para mas madali natin masolve. Okay, so ang goal natin dyan, after multiplying yung sa LCD, yung whole equation, wala nang magiging denominator. Yung result niya, hindi na fraction. So, 4x times x, that's 4x times x. We'll just leave it like that muna. Kasi ang alam ko naman, alam nyo yung sagot dyan, di ba? So, next one will be 4x times 3 over x. So, that's 3 times 4x, no? Inunan lang natin yan. So, pwede rin 4x times 3 all over x. Pwede rin ganon. Then, yung nasa right side naman, that's 4x times 19 over 4. So, yan. And then, after multiplying it, yung mga dapat nating i-cancel natin. So, kasi ang goal nga natin, mawalan ng denominator para mas madali nating isolve. So, remove natin yung same x kasi multiplication yan. Pero, Don't forget na kapag merong plus dito, in between dito na meron tayong nakitang plus dyan, hindi natin siya pwedeng i-remove. So, we can cancel that lang kasi multiplication yung operation nila dyan. Okay? And this one also can be removed. Okay? Yung cancellation natin yan, that's equal to 1, x divided by x1. So, 3 times 4 na lang. And then, 19 times x. So, let's multiply. This will be equal to 4x. So you have here 4x times x, that's equal to 4x squared. Okay. And then this one, 3 times 4, I think you know the answer to that. That's 12. Then equals 19 times x na lang is 19x. Okay. So 19x. So let's continue. So if you have this kind of equation, ang goal na natin is to set this one into a standard form. Ano po ba yung standard form? Yung ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So, ang gagawin natin dito is ililipat natin yan. Ito-transpose natin dun sa kabilang side. Sa left side. Okay? So 4x squared minus 19x plus 12 equal to 0. Okay? Pasensyahan nyo na yung aso, no? Maingay yung aso. Hindi natin mapatay. Hindi natin siya hindi natin mapatigil, no? Kasi iba yung may-ari niyan. Okay? So, just like that, meron na tayong quadratic equation in standard form. Okay? So, after that, kung magaling ka sa factoring, you may factor it. Kung hindi naman, you may use quadratic formula. Kasi, no, this one is in quadratic equation na. So, napag-aralan na natin paano isosolve ang quadratic equation. Marami na tayong paraan paano isolve yan. So, isolve na natin yan. So, by factoring, kasi I think that's factorable. Factor natin yan. Ang factor niyan is 4x minus 3 times x minus 4. So, if you multiply this one, this 16, this is negative 16, and this one is negative 3. If you add this one, that will be equal to negative 19x. Okay? If you want to check yung factor nyo, ganun ang gagawin nyo. Okay? So, or you may use quadratic formula. Lalagay lang natin dito si negative b. Yan, that's negative b squared plus minus square root of b squared minus 4. This is your a. This is your c. So, ganun lang pwedeng quadratic formula. Pwede ring factoring. Kasi pwede naman sa lahat yung quadratic formula. Okay? So, by solving it, you will have the value of x of 1 equals to 3/4. And x of 2 is equal to 4. Okay? This one, by applying zero product property, lilipat mo lang yun, magiging positive 3 divided by 4. Ito naman, ilipat mo lang yung 4 sa kabila, that's equal to 4. Okay? So, ang mahirap lang dito naman is pag hindi natin nakagad nakuha yung LCD, okay, and then the multiply na natin. Pero kung nakuha na natin ang LCD, then na-distribute na natin, na-multiply na natin, madali na lang yun. Okay? May tanong po ba? So, kung walang tanong, tuloy na tayo sa example number 2. Kunyari, no? Okay? So, example number 2. Yan. So, example number 2, we have 3 over x. Yan. I-divide lang natin yan doon sa LCD. Ang LCD nan is x. Ito, x times x minus 1. Sir, ba't hindi pwedeng x tsaka x minus 1? Kasi magkaiba sila. Ito, this one is 2 terms. No? 2 terms, ito 1. So, kung 2x sila, tsaka x, 2x yun. Okay, so, yan. So, x times x minus 1 will be your LCD. So, again, multiply lang natin yan. Both sides of the equation. So, x times x minus 1. Multiply natin. It should be equal to x minus 1 times x times 3 all over x. The next one will be 7 times x minus 1 all over x minus 1. And then the last one will be x squared times minus x times 1. Okay? Saan galing po yung x squared? Minultiply na natin ito. X times x, that's x squared. Then x times negative 1, that's negative x. Okay? Yan. And then after that, i-remove na natin yung mga kaparehas ng numerator doon sa denominator. Okay? So, katulad dito, yung x sa numerator then sa denominator. And dito naman sa kabila will be, ayan. And matitira is, kaya siya naging 3x minus 3 kasi 3 times x tsaka 3 times negative 1. Kaya yung ganyan. Sunod naman, cancel natin to. Then multiply natin x times 7. That's equal to 7x. Positive ang ginamit natin kasi plus ang ginamit dahil positive siya. And then this one, any number multiplied to 1 is the number itself. Tama? Sabi ko, 1 times this is this. Okay? So, x squared minus x. And then, just combine similar terms. Pag ganyan, i-combine na natin yung mga similar terms. Ibubahin mo natin yan. Combine natin. Ano ba yung dapat i-combine dyan? O rewrite standard form kapag may kaparehas. Combine. Like this one. Pwede natin ito i-combine. Pwede itong i-combine si 3x tsaka si 7x. That's 10x. As ito, ililipat natin sa kabila yan. Diba? Magiging ito x squared. Yan. Sir, bakit positive nilipat? Kasi, ano yan eh, parang ganito. Yung a na nandito, ay, pangit yung sulat ko. Parang ganito po yan na, baka malito kasi kayo eh. Halimbawa, yung x dito equals 4. Parehas lang yun ng x equals 4. Parehas lang sila. So, ang ginawa natin, para positive to, ito yung nilipat natin sa kabila. So, minus 10, nililipat natin to magiging negative. So, susunod negative 11. Kasi 10 to, di ba? 10 na yan sila. Burahin muna natin para hindi tayo maguluhan. Tayo. Para makita natin ng maayos. Ito yung sinasabi ko, no? Sinasabi ko kanina, ito may negative ka dyan. Etong 10, pag nilipat natin to magiging minus 10x. Okay, and if you combine this one, the result will be like this. Parang andito yung equals. Okay? Yan. And then ito naman yung ililipat natin sa kabila. Ay, ito naman magiging plus 3 equal to 0. Okay? Supposed to be nandito yung 0 kanina. Kaya pinagpalit na natin sila. Okay? Ganito yun kanina, no? 0, sulat ko lang, equals x squared minus 11x plus 3. Okay? Okay. Ginawa lang ni Sir, gusto kasi ni Sir positive to ating A. So, mas proper kasi yun, positive A, yung ating A. Pwede din naman siya, no? Pero, mas inaalaw lang natin yung, mas gusto lang natin na positive yun para mas madali natin i-solve. So, kung nasan yung x squared na positive, dun tayo magta-transpose para mas madali. Okay? Yan. Burahin lang natin. Burahin. Okay. Yan, tuloy natin. So, meron ka ng ganyan. Quadratic equation yan in standard form, then solve for x. By quadratic formula. Bakit quadratic formula? Kasi hindi yan siya factorable. No? Wala tayong maiisip na number na kapag binultiply natin, that's positive 3, and then kapag inad natin is negative 11. Again, no, pag factoring, dapat yung number na mapipili mong dalawang number, if you multiply, the product will be yung last term natin. So, dapat ang pag-factoring, yung number na yun, kapag multiply negative 3, and pag sinam natin, kinuha natin yung sum niya o inad natin, that's negative 11. And there's no such number na kapag minultiply natin is positive 3, kapag atin namang inad is negative 11. So, ang gagamitin natin is by quadratic formula. So, by quadratic formula, again, ulitin lang natin, if this is your B, di ba? B rin ito. Tapos ito ay A. C, ito ay A. Di ba? Kasi negative B plus minus B squared all over, square root of B squared all over, minus 4AC all over 2A. Okay? So, yun yung ating quadratic formula. And then by solving this one, we have, this is 11, then 121 minus 12, 121 minus 12, that's 109. So, 109, wala naman siyang square root. So, yung answer natin will be in this form. So, I think that's our answer. Our x, is negative 11 plus minus square root of 109 all over 2. Or x of 1 is equal to negative 11 plus square root of 109 all over 2. X of 2 is negative 11 minus square root of 109 all over 2. Okay. Yan. And I think assignment na lang tayo muna. Assignment natin will be x plus, same lang yun ang ating binigay, no? Iba lang yung number. Okay? And I think that would be all. God bless you and ingat sa bagyo. Okay? Be safe. God bless you guys.